Welcome back. I'm your educator, Rajni Jha, and you're watching seventh part of the subject-verb agreement. Here is the slide where you can read about me. And if you like the video, do rate, review, and recommend it. Also, you can follow me at Unacademy at this link. I have covered 8 rules so far. Here comes the ninth one. This is about when we compare two people, thing, etc. And whenever for comparison, you use any of these than, as, not so as. Make sure that if these are preceded by the subjective case of a pronoun, they have to be followed by a subjective case only. And if these are preceded by an objective case of a pronoun, they've got to be followed by an objective case of a pronoun only. Okay. First, let's try to understand what exactly are the subjective case and objective cases of a pronoun. Subjective case means that it can be used as a subject only, and objective case means that it can be used as an object only. Look at the sentences in this box. Here, there are two sentences, I like her and she likes me. In both the sentences, the first word is subject, so I and she are subject. Next word is a verb, so like and likes are verb. And the last word are objects, so her and me are basically objects here. Okay. Now just think, can you replace this word I with me? If you do so, the sentence would become me like her. And I'm sure that all of you know that this sentence is incorrect, although this try to convey the same meaning. The reason for it being incorrect is that this is a place for a subject and you cannot use an object here. Me is the objective case of a pronoun, so it cannot be used here. Okay. Similarly, in the second sentence, you cannot write her in place of she. If you do so, the sentence would become her likes me. Of course, again, this sentence is incorrect, and the reason is absolutely the same as the previous one, that this place is for a subject and you cannot use an object here, and her is the objective case of the pronoun. Okay. Take a look at the first sentence again. Now here, can you write she in place of her? If you do so, the sentence would become I like she. Obviously, this is incorrect. Why? Because this place is meant for an object and she is the subjective case, so that means that is a subject, so you cannot write she over here. Similarly, in the second sentence, you cannot write I in the place of me because this is a place for an object and I is the subjective case, so it can be used as a subject only, and you cannot write a subject in place of an object. Okay, now I hope this thing is clear to you that the subjective case means that it can be used as a subject in a sentence, and objective case means it can be used as an object in a sentence. Now let's just have a look at all the subjective and objective cases of personal pronouns. Here are the subjective and objective cases. He is the subjective case, him is the objective case, she is the subjective case, her is the objective case, it subjective and it is the objective as well. They subjective case, them objective case, you is the subjective and you is the objective as well. I is the subjective case, me is the objective case. Similarly, we is the subjective case and us is the objective case. Okay, now let's get back to the rule. As I've already told you, this rule says that whenever you use these words for comparison, you have to use a subjective case after them if you have used a subjective case before them, and if you have used an objective case before then you have to use an objective case after them. Okay. There's one more thing that you should remember, that with than, you can only use the comparative degree of an adjective. With as, and not so as, you use positive degree of an adjective. And I hope you all know that almost every adjective, I'm not saying every adjective, almost every adjective has 3 degrees: positive, comparative, and superlative. For example, good. Good is an adjective. Good is the positive degree, better is the comparative degree, and best is the superlative degree. Look at the examples now. The first one is, she is more intelligent than he or him. Now you can see I'm comparing two people, she and he or him. Here I have used than for comparison. Since I have used than, I need to use a comparative degree. So you can see I've written more intelligent. Okay, more intelligent is the comparative degree of the adjective intelligent. Now you can see that before than I have used she, which is the subjective case. So I'll have to use a subjective case only after than. So between he and him, I would choose he. Okay. So the sentence becomes she is more intelligent than he. Next sentence, he is as good as she or her. Again, you can see I'm comparing two people, he and she, and here I have used as for comparison. And when you use as, you'll have to use the positive degree of the adjective. That is why I have written the word good. And since as is preceded by he, which is a subjective case, therefore it has to be followed by a subjective case only. Now you tell me, between she and her, which is the subjective case? She is the subjective case, right? Therefore the correct sentence would be he is as good as she. Next sentence, they are not so good as we or us. Now here again I'm comparing they and we or us. Okay, and I have used not so as for comparison, and I know that with not so as I can use only the positive degree of adjective. Therefore I have written good as an adjective, which is the positive degree. And since not so as is preceded by they, which is a subjective case, therefore it has to be followed by a subjective case only. Now you tell me, between we and us, which is the subjective case? Of course, we is the subjective case, therefore the correct sentence would be they are not so good as we. Last sentence is I like her more than he or him. Now here you can see that again I have used than for comparison, and before than you can find two pronouns, her and I. Now just think, which one is closer to than? Of course, the other one, her, is closer to than, and this is objective case. Therefore, after than also, I will choose an objective case. Okay, so between he and him, which is the objective case? Of course, him is the objective case. So here the correct sentence would be I like her more than him. Okay, I hope this rule is clear. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is just keep this thing in your mind, that whenever for comparison you use than, as, or not so as, before them if there is a subjective case, after them there has to be a subjective case. Before them if there is an objective case, after them there has to be an objective case only. Moreover, with than you can use only the comparative degree of an adjective. With as and not so as, you use the positive degree of an adjective. Moreover, you can see here I have written not with so as. So that means so as cannot be used without this word not. Okay. For example, in the third statement, just look at the third statement again. If I write a statement like they are so good as we, this would be an incorrect statement, because with so as you have to use not. And that is why I have mentioned this along with so as. Okay. So do not forget about it. And now I hope this rule is clear to you. Still, if you have any doubt, do not forget to mention that in the comment section, and you're welcome to give your suggestions as well. Thank you very much for watching the video.